How's it going, everyone? It's me, Vivi, and welcome to basically part 3 of Sly Cooper Bosses. In this one, I'd like to rank the bosses from Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves by order of difficulty. I've done a similar thing with Sly 1 and Sly 2, although the titles are different, the idea is the same. So for this one, well, this game, Sly 3, has a lot of bosses. We're looking at 17 in total, so ranking them by difficulty was a bit challenging. So hopefully, when it comes to at least the hardest bosses in the game, I rank them as close as possible to your liking. Like, I at least hope you guys agree with a couple. Alright, so let's get started. Coming in at number 17 is The Mask of Dark Earth Phase 2. Some bosses in Sly 3 you face them more than once. Let's not forget about that one, alright? So Phase 2 of this boss. Karma Larga, as Sly likes to call her. There are 2 phases in this one. Or should I say sub-phases, you know, phases within phases? First phase would be the lemon bar scenario. So when it comes to this one, you're controlling a crane. Pick up and throw. Pick up and throw. Very straightforward, you just gotta keep your eye on the barrels. There's one pattern you gotta follow and focus on the barrels. Be careful. Now, as for phase 2 or part 2 of this boss battle, this is where it gets even more straightforward and very easily manageable. Looking at how the area is huge, you can easily dodge the incoming missiles by Carmelita's crew. It's not that difficult. As for the other part, once you reach her legs, you grab onto her bootlaces and crawl up there. You remove both latches, securing the mask, and you're done. Not too overwhelming of a boss fight, so 17 it is. Next, number 16, Panda King's Mind. This is a classic callback to Sly 1. Do recall, this was one of my favorites from Sly 1, because of its classic melee dodge fight. So how do you dodge his flame fu attacks? You jump over his fiery wheel. As for Palms of Thunder, you move to the side. As for the booming chop part, well, he'll just bounce you back. You can't really defeat Panda in this scenario, because at a point you reach a certain portion of his health, where you get left with one option in your thinking bubble. By doing so, you guys exit that realm. So yeah, very nice callback to Sly 1, you gotta rely on your dodging and that's basically it, it's very manageable. Next, coming in at number 15, Le Fouet, Penelope. Okay, this is something you guys perhaps might not agree with when it comes to ranking, but yeah, I thought of putting it at number 15 for one reason only. First, I'm not a fan of patterned boss fights, such as this one. And 2, you easily get the hang of it. Le Fouet attacks you 3 ways. On the first platform, he swings his sword low. You have to jump. Once he pauses like that, you have to swing pressing triangle. To swing high. You repeat this until he falls off the edge. There's no health bar in this boss fight. The objective is to make him fall off. The same goes for you. He's trying to make you fall off the edge. The second platform, he starts attacking high. You have to duck. Once he pauses with his sword high in the air, you attack with the square button. You have to swing low. Third platform, it's a mix of both, you make sure you got the pattern memorized. I'm not really fond of this style of battle, so number 15 it is. Well, including its challenge, obviously. Next, number 14, Mask of Dark Earth Phase 1. Not too scary of a challenge. I love the fact we're working as a group. This is something that they hopefully reintroduce in a future Sly game. I'm probably being way too optimistic, but that's just me. Okay, keep running. Wait for Bentley's bomb or Murray's barrel. You just gotta turn in circles. Keep turning, lure him, and boom. That's it. Once he's stunned, whack him with your trusty old cane. Not too hard, very fun boss fight. A bit of patience running around, right? So, number 14 it is. Number 13, the Stone Dragon. Repetition is the aspect of this battle, which can get quite boring at a certain point. You have to use fireworks you find around the hub world to fly up to reach that dragon. Once you reach a good height, you can use the paraglider if need be. Spire jump until you reach its head. Also careful the fire it breathes along the way. Once it turns around, careful for its fiery tongue and hand slapping. Once you've done enough damage, you'll be on the ground again. Rinse and repeat. This is just basically patience. The part which can get annoying is if you try and spire jump but you fall off. You're gonna have to find another firework to get up there. A lot of patience involved. The tongue swinging, you know, jumping and dodging that can be quite tricky sometimes. So I put this guy at number 13. Why not? Next position, number 12, Dr. M Phase 3, Sly, facing the whale fly. We're using the biplane. You have to maneuver your way towards him as much as you can. That's the intent. So, what I did, for the missiles, you can dodge them, but don't do that. You can easily get hit by those and lose a lot of health. You have to lock on those missiles. You don't see it here, but I'm just pointing it out, because that's what you're supposed to do, normally. I also tend to keep a good distance, as you can notice, as to not activate his missiles too soon. As for the green shields, I attack from the side like a lazy person. Like, if you're patient enough, you can just stay on the side, be careful, and shoot until his health goes low. No, I don't call this cheesing. Maybe you could call it cheesing, but there's still the risk of losing a lot of HP if you're impatient and you just shoot from the side and, well, basically mindlessly. That's what I'm trying to say. This one comes at number 12 because it's not that exciting nor too challenging. It gets quickly boring when you realize you always have to catch up to him. But yeah, number 12 it is because you're using the biplane and sometimes, focusing on the camera, your movements and everything, it can be tricky. Number 11, Mugshot Phase 1 with Murray. The point of this one, you have to focus on that mechanical switch. There's a lot of dodging to do due to those incoming enemy attacks. The pig especially can be the trickiest with those throwing tools around. And the water splash attack, let's not forget. What I do is stay as close as possible to the switch. It has to recharge, right? So stay close to it. Close proximity, folks. Wandering off too much, going far away, just running around, trying to get rid of those enemies, well, there's higher risk of losing HP. By the time you make it to the switch, these enemies will probably have already taken half of your HP, so be careful. So yeah, it's a mixed of a challenge. If you're not careful, constantly putting major focus on incoming attacks, well, the enemies will just end up luring you to the corner of the room, which will then require you to go back to the mechanical switch, by risking health, right? Number 10, Dr. M Phase 1. This one's composed of 3 sections with Carmelita. Section 1, you keep shooting at the beast. Watch out for your flying troops coming towards you. It can cause damage. After a while, a platform will allow you to proceed to the next section. As for the first section, with time, a wall's gonna rise, blocking your way, so you're gonna have to move to the other section. This time, Dr. M's goons come towards you, so focus on that, and also keep shooting at the beast. Section 3, Dr. M will come at you, smacking you with his fists. You have to dodge and shoot. Come to think of it, maybe this one should have been higher up on the list. See, I told you in the beginning, it's quite challenging, ranking 17. Anywho, let's move on to the next one. Number 9, Mugshot Phase 2, Carmelita. The pistols can get overwhelming, especially if you don't focus your camera on the opponent. So really be careful with that one. If you look away, he can start spamming it, you won't even see his incoming attacks, so yeah. Searching for health when low can be very, very tempting, but just keep in mind the timing of his pistols. So yeah, this one relies on dodging, shooting, and playing around with the camera. But let's not forget, he also throws dynamite. If you're the type of player who likes to stay on the roofs, well, just careful on those dynamites. You can easily dodge them, but just don't forget about them. As for the pistols, you can jump and move to the sides. Careful sometimes, jumping, he'll just start shooting higher. And keep an eye on incoming guards, obviously. So yeah, I believe Mugshot Phase 2 fits position number 9. What do you think? Coming in at number 8, the Black Baron Phase 1. Sly with the plane. The focus of this one, stick your eyes onto a black plane. You might get tempted to just keep on shooting and shooting at the other guys, but keep in mind, they can be hard to dodge. If you just waste too much time going after these guys, you'll either A, lose a lot of health. Dodging those turrets, it ain't easy. They can hit you. There's also the risk of bumping into other planes, causing a lot of health to get lost. The key to this, focus on the black plane. Yes, there's a bunch of enemies around, but keep following the Black Baron. Make sure you got enough bullets, go under the bridges, make sure you got all of that. And dodge as much as possible by mainly focusing on the black plane. So yes, number 8 it is for this one. Using the plane 1. 2. Going in the right direction. 3. Dodging bullets and avoiding bumps on others. Next, number 7. The Crusher. This one's pretty fun. We got 2 characters which we can control. The first part has the panicking. You have to load up on your fireworks and just aim at those tentacles. The challenge to this is not firing on time. If you don't fire on time, you'll get slapped. Make sure you fully charge your fireworks. Once you get rid of enough tentacles, its face will appear. Well, head. Part of its head. Dodge the fireballs, careful for those, and just keep on shooting. Later, the Crusher will try and tilt the ship, making it lose balance with its tentacles. You don't need to waste time fully charging the gauge. You can lock on multiple tentacles. One firework is enough to break the grip of one tentacle. After that phase, its head appears again along with 2 tentacles. Part 2, we got Sly Cooper. A wall is formed behind you thanks to its fireballs. The first step to this is to whack 3 tentacles so that they stick onto the ship. Once it's done, the Crusher will appear towards you and fire those cannons. Same thing afterwards. Oh, don't forget about the fireballs. Yeah, as I was saying, this time 4 tentacles. Make sure they stick and then he'll approach, rinse and repeat, and then 5, same thing happens. So it's quite of a challenge. Rely on perfect timing, make sure you got enough time to charge your gauges, dodge those tentacles, and it's pretty fun challenge. So number 7 it is. Number 6, Octavio Phase 1, Bentley and Sly. Why did I put this one so low, you might ask? Well, it's classic point and shoot dodge challenge. The key to this one, your eyes have to multitask. You can easily get distracted if you keep looking at the missile gauge in the lower left corner. If you keep on just pressing the trigger, it's gonna overheat. The trick to this, focus on your opponent and the objectives you see in front of you. Don't worry about the gauge. Try to memorize the rate of fire at which you can maintain that gauge. Moving your eyes towards the bottom of the screen will just distract you and higher the chances of hitting an obstacle. So the challenge to this? Keep your eyes on Octavio. Try and memorize the rate of fire and just keep on dodging and doing your thing. So due to its classic style of difficulty, point and shoot, jump and all, I thought number 6 is good enough. Number 5, Octavio again, Phase 2, Murray. This one, you have to rely on tar. Without tar, Octavio is fast on his feet, and will keep doing that jumping attack. Once Sly activates the pit of tar, it's a game of patience and dodging, and perfect timing, obviously. When you approach him and you start punching frantically, he'll do that flip move. Be careful. Be smart on the number of punches you want to land on Octavio. You have to dodge his sound waves. He can also throw tar at you from a distance. So time your punches perfectly, and make sure there's always tar. So 3 things. Patience, time your punches carefully, and make sure the surroundings allow you to throw punches at Octavio. AKA, make sure Sly activates the pit of tar. So I thought of putting this guy at number 5. He's quite of a challenge, I'd say. Number 4, Dr. M Phase 2, Dimitri. Well, this is underwater. So easily this one goes below number 5. And for what reason? Because one of the controls underwater, confusion, especially, and dodging. You have to focus on the right side of your controller. X, square, triangle, and circle, up, down, left, right. Each button is assigned to a direction. I take it the battle was designed this way as to not have you get lost. With the camera, right? Be careful at that spike disc. The beam shoots on its sides, so you have to keep your eyes on that. The fish will try and suck you at a point, so make sure you aim at the red orb on time and keep shooting. Also, the rate of fire is a bit slow, so you really gotta aim your shots as perfect as possible. Naturally, as you start depleting its health, there's more obstacles. Lasers appear afterwards, so you have to dodge those. So number 4 it is. Underwater controls, moving the camera with the buttons, dodging as much as you can, and yeah. Number 3, the Black Baron Phase 2. There are 3 noticeable phases in this one. Number 1, no guards. Baron throws at you some basic uppercuts, basic punches, and leap attacks. The best time to attack is when he or she uppercuts. There's a slight window of opportunity to strike. Before Phase 2, guards come in and Baron hangs on to the edge of the wing. Try your best to kick the guards off the plane. Don't waste your time swinging mindlessly. And careful for that gasoline. Phase 2, new attack, jumping on the wing. That causes the plane to move and you're gonna lose health. So you really gotta time your jump perfectly. I always have trouble timing it. So there's a lot of risk of losing health. So really keep your eyes on the Black Baron when he wants to jump. Phase 3. Also before Phase 3 obviously there's some guards and Black Baron hangs on the edge of the wing. Phase 3. All of the above, plus guards, so keep an eye out. So why is this at number 3? 1. Limited space. 2. That jumping attack the Baron does. For me personally, it's hard to dodge. 3. The enemies, the risk of them pushing you off the wing and losing health constantly. So yeah, it can be quite of a challenge, this one. As you've noticed, I really rely on pushing. Push, push, and push. I have a feeling maybe a lot of you will agree with number 3. If not, tell me why. Who would you rather put at number 3? So with that being said, let's move on to number 2. Dr. M Phase 4 with Sly. This comes at number 2 due to its, what you call it, raw factor? You're not stuck with a certain button sequence, right? You just go in there and you use your cane. This fight requires a lot of dodging. It's not hard in that department. You have those lasers you can walk on, like dodging his elemental balls, either thunder, water, fire. You go on those lasers, alright? But be careful, he will start shooting at you from a distance. Like you're trying to dodge his moves, but he's still gonna shoot at you. For his laser move, at the rate it moves, it's very easy to just move away and use those vehicles as shelter until they blow up. However, once you're on the field, close to him, he's fast. If you just randomly, mindlessly swing your cane around, I mean, there's a risk he's just gonna come in leaping onto you. He's quick. Faster than you can say Sly Cooper 5. So as you can see, what I prefer to use, I mean, you got a gadget gauge, right? Use your gadgets, why not? Knockout dive is something used in this one. Time it right, okay? And he gets staggered easily. Swinging your cane will just take longer for him to lose control and fly off, alright? And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to number 1. We know who's at number 1, Vivi. No surprise there. I mean, you're right about that. General Tsao with Sly Cooper. This one is so much fun, well, at least for the first part. I love the fact you face him mid-episode. Is that something you ever thought of, realized? Like, hey, usually we fight bosses? Well, main bosses at the end of each episode. This is a very nice feature I loved about this episode, and I wish they do the same for future games. So as for the first phase, it's awesome, it's fun, it's exciting. You can glide however you like. The key to this is the right angle and position. My way of going at it. Make sure you're not too close to Tsao. Don't stay on the same bamboo, face to face, obviously. Keep moving to the left or right by 1 bamboo or 2, or maybe 3. What I do is I make sure to focus on the center of the area, where there are no bamboos. If you time it right, and if you're at the perfect angle, it's the perfect spot to smack him. If you focus too much on the bamboo dense areas, there's a high probability he'll jump at you. You'll miss your mark. Alright, so right position, right angle, focus on the center, you'll hit him. Phase 2, I know there's a workaround or cheap method, kinda like a glitched something he gets stuck in the corner of video I saw. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Let's not think of that. Let's just think of this boss as you, going at it for the first time. It's a bit frustrating. You have to focus on push attacks. Don't swing your cane, as you normally do. His vertical spin shield attack. Well, regular swings, you'll just get hit by that shield. Make sure not to get too many bamboos chopped. When you swing your cane, by the way, you get the bamboos chopped. Don't forget. You need those bamboos to go up when he summons the army of the dead. As for the dragon head, when he summons it, unfortunately, it follows you even when you climb up on bamboos. You just gotta move from one to the other when that happens, okay? So make sure you got enough bamboos surrounding you. So why did I place this as number 1? Apart from the fun factor for phase 1, well, this one requires you to be very active and think smart. Out of all bosses in Sly 3, this one requires you to think. Okay, gotta climb up on bamboos, right? Gotta make sure I don't chop off too many bamboos. Don't swing your cane regularly, and all that stuff. You gotta act fast and think fast. So, would it be wrong to guess that Tsao is a hard boss for a lot of you? At least for your first time? What do you think? I'd like to know your stories about the challenges of Sly 3, when it comes to bosses, obviously. So, if you've watched the whole thing, thank you so much, you're awesome. So the way I ranked these bosses basically is, whatever fight requires you to analyze a lot, or requires you to think a lot, while those ones ranked lower, as in more difficult. So, this is it folks for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and as I said before, share your own stories in the comments section below. I know 17 is a lot, so here's what I'm gonna tell you. Give me your top 5. top 5 hardest bosses in Sly 3, why not? Or even 3. So as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time.